And the only thing that changes the density of what you want is the level of concentration. Top of it, team, Coach E. And you know what time it is. It's time to leverage your life. And if you don't know, your life is your business. And if you're not living the life that you desire and deserve, then it's because you're not minding your business. And if you're not minding your business, it may be because you don't know what your business is, and that's okay. You're in the right place. Now, whenever I want to understand more deeper spiritual truths, I always look for a parallel in the physical reality or in my existence or in my common world, everyday world to help explain it. Now, I'm a little bit deeper person, so I might go into a little bit deeper, more research on the scientific side, but I always look for some kind of comparison to help me understand a more in-depth spiritual truth. Now, one thing I wanted to understand this week was manifestation. We talk about it all the time in every little conversation, from the gurus to the entrepreneurs, and it's always spoken of. And I'm like, I need to get a more in-depth understanding of what manifestation really is. Like, what's the step-by-step process? Because I believe if you can create some kind of scientific formula for it, then if you practice that formula, then you'll get the results. So what I looked into was density. And what I found out about density is what makes things dense is based upon the arrangement of the particles that make up that thing. So you have three states of physical reality. You have gases, you have liquids, and you have solids. Well, the reason why the solid is more heavier than the liquid and the liquid is more heavier than the gas and the gas is lighter is because the arrangement of the particles that make up that actual thing. With gases, the particles are farther apart. With liquids, they're a little bit closer. But on the most densest things that exist in physical reality, solids, they are tightly compacted. And not only is it about the arrangement of the particles, but the arrangement of the particles within a certain space. Okay? So, like if you take a lot of dirt and you compact it into a small space, it'll become heavier and heavier because it's more dense. And another concept I realized when I seen density was concentration. That's a word that has to do with the mental as well as the physical. When things are highly concentrated, they're thick, they're more dense. When you concentrate on something, it becomes more and more within focus, and you can see it more clearer. So I said to myself, how does density, the three states of physical reality and the levels of density, how does it correlate with spirituality and manifestation? And this is when the light hit me. I said, you can compare gas to your thoughts, your dreams, and your imagination. Then you can compare the liquid aspect to you taking action towards those thoughts and dreams that you want to become real and reality, and how you are not experiencing them yet, but you're taking the steps to get closer. So you're living in it, but you haven't experienced it yet, but you're drawing it closer. You're becoming more concentrated, more compact. And then you can take the solid form of the principle of density and compare that to actually physically experiencing that which you want to experience. So we got the three states of physical reality: gas, liquid, solid. We got the three states of manifestation: thought, action, experience. The common denominator between both is, in order to get from one spot, gas or thought, to another spot, solid and experience, it takes concentration. The higher the concentration, the more dense the matter becomes. Now, in science, they talk about individual particles that make up gases, liquids, and solids. Well, what are the individual particles that make up what you want to manifest? Those individual particles start off as consciousness. See, all reality is made up of consciousness that can't be seen or perceived by the eye, can't be smelled, can't be tasted, can't be touched. But all reality consists of this pure energy. And this pure energy, as we know, exists in a waveform, but collapses to a specific point when we focus on it. So the level of concentration determines what this potential energy collapses into. And it starts off in the form of waves of thoughts, to thicker waves of action, and to lastly, the experience. So in the process of manifestation, we could look at it the same way we look at things that are dense. You say, well, why isn't certain things that I want to come to pass not manifesting? I'm thinking about it, I'm working towards it, but I'm not reaching the last step of experiencing it. Well, then you have to maintain concentration. You have to concentrate, because concentration is actually an action on the mental level. When you concentrate mentally, you're actually gathering energy to one point and collapsing it to form the thought and help you develop the plan to experience what you want to experience. The same way in science, that when you make something more concentrated, is that you make it more dense. So if you're not experiencing that which you are dreaming to experience, that which you are working to experience, it's not that the process doesn't work. It's simply that you continually need to concentrate, because the more concentration, the more focus will gather more of that energy to that single point. See, when you're not concentrating, your energy is going in all different directions. When you don't have an actual written down goal, an objective, or what you want to do or what you want to be, the energy that you have that's inside of you doesn't have a direction, and it's not concentrated. So it's going each and every way, not hitting no particular target. I mean, it's like pissing in the wind or shooting darts in the dark. But when you say or make a decision that you want to be something, then you're giving your energy a direction. Now, energy is very subtle. Remember, your thoughts are like gas, and it's very hard to control or keep gas controlled and contained. So it takes a high level of concentration to make those thoughts that are like gases stay in one place and compact and compact and compact. See, the volume that you create for the gas, just like the glass that you create for the water, is what you want to be. This is what you're saying to your energy. Take this shape, mold into this form. But you have to create the container so that it can continue to compact within that container. Because the more you focus, the more you put, the more you compact that container with what you want, the more dense it becomes, the more real it becomes, the more you can experience it, the more physical it becomes. If you want to experience the dreams that you have in your mind, if you want to activate the power of manifestation, then concentration is a key component. But understand what you're doing when you concentrate. You're taking particles of energy that exist, that you're made of, and you're condensing it. And the more dense something is, the more physical it becomes. The more concentrated something is, the more physical it becomes. The more concentration you put towards what you want, the more physical it becomes. You might say, well, man, I'm focused on it. Focus more. We always think we doing enough, bro. If it ain't came yet, then you ain't did enough yet. If you're still focusing on it and still have not experienced it, keep focusing on it. Keep making it more concentrated. It's like when you're trying to make the perfect gravy and you stir it and you stir it and it's still watery. Add more of that ingredients that's going to thicken it up. And you're stirring it and it's still watery. Keep adding the ingredients until it gets to where it needs to be. Take your time. Go at a steady pace. Add a little bit at a time, because once you pass a certain level, you can't go back. But if it's not where you want it to be, if you have not manifested what you wanted to manifest, it's not that the principle doesn't work, because the law is absolute. The principle does work. You just need to keep focusing. And then you might say, well, how long, nigga? What you mean, how long? What do you mean, how long is it going to take? Whatever you want, it should not matter how long it takes. If that's the only thing you want, it doesn't matter when it comes. Our preoccupation with time is what puts the pressure on us to think that things ain't working because it ain't happening in a certain unit of time. But it shouldn't matter how long it take. Take time off of it. Become indifferent to the time and the way in which it will manifest. Because the law is absolute. And if you focus long enough, if you concentrate, then what you're concentrating on becomes more concentrated and more dense, and then more able to experience on this level of reality. And that's what you want to do. You want to bring it from thought to physical reality. And you have to think about it in that concept. Thoughts are like gases. Your plans and actions are like the water. And your experience is the solid form. If you want to take something from being a thought to experiencing it, then the molecules, that which makes up that which you want to become, has to become more concentrated. It's just a thought in its original form. It doesn't become more concentrated until you put action to that thought. And then it reaches its highest level of concentration when you are experiencing the dreams and the things that you desire to do, to be, and to have.